Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3. We start today overlooking Teotika? I think I've been calling it Tikosha because I've been reading it wrong. Anyway, we start over this city in which King Petweet is standing off against Tic-Tac-Toe, who is currently in Astromancy stance. Now, the reason we're starting here is because although his army is postured aggressively, when I rolled the last turn, Tic-Tac-Toe asked me for a peace treaty, which I refused. Looking at the map, we are considerably stronger. We have more armies in position, such as King Pashedu, who is going to occupy the Serpent Coast, which was so rudely razed by the Tzeentchian forces just a few turns ago that are currently sailing down the coast. Over here, the main bulk of the battle is occurring. We have the reinforcement of two Tomb King armies at the Wizard Caliph's Palace, and we have Nicolandor, the Blade of Scalaril. And his army is terrifying. I'm honestly not sure I could beat it with what I have. So we might move over King Futep. However, to start off today, I thought we would go straight into a battle for Wizard Caliph's Palace. It's going to be a decisive victory, or so they say. We do have a lot of Tomb King reinforcements. But this is the last palace of the Chevalier de Lioness. They have one more army outside, but it's just the Lord, and they aren't able to recruit. So I think we'll start by playing this one. It's a standard layout of fort, and it should be relatively easy for us to assault. Welcome to the battle for the Wizard Caliph's Palace. This is a tier 5 settlement. We have siege equipment for the first, or one of the first times. The sarcophagi filled with Tomb Guard are approaching the walls. Now, the reason we've deployed over on this side, rather than the side it said we would on the map, is so that when our reinforcements come in, they are each assaulting a different angle of the city. It looks like one of our towers was shot down. That was not entirely unexpected. I did think that that might happen on this side. So instead, I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop the ram, because the higher Titans will get there to the gate faster anyway, with Rakash, not Rakash, Futep. And we are going to push forwards and try and take the walls that way. Right now our ladders are docking and reinforcements are coming in. Not ladders, siege equipment is docking. Look at that. They're filing out onto the walls. We'll get onto those archers as fast as possible here. Chase down the enemy and hopefully shut down the towers. You can see that the enemy have not, by any means put a large number of forces here. That is because, well, bluntly put, we are attacking them on 3 sides. They need their reinforcements elsewhere. They've put a lot over here to try and slow us down, like they knew that we would be the first ones in. But they are making it a bit difficult right now to get in through this gate. So let's see what we can do about that. Once we are in, we're going to start sending the Ushabti and groups of our units with the heroes to different places to start taking control of areas of the city. And because we've taken control of the tower, these poor peasant bowmen are being shot at by their own defences. Alright, we are now in through the gates. So, I am going to send some Ushabti to deal with the Grail Knights over there with the unit of Tomb Guard halberds to protect them. I'm going to send the higher Titans up to this high ground here with the units of sword. We'll send the Necrotect with the Ushabti. We'll send Futep with the other units. Let's get our archers inside the city now, as well as the Sepulchral Stalkers. And then, honestly, we kind of want to hold. Like, I don't think that right now we want to do anything too aggressive, because our other armies are not yet in the city. We can begin securing our foothold, but I don't see why we would want to fight the entire garrison on our own when reinforcements are so close. That's just my personal way of thinking about it. It looks like the Ushabti got kind of distracted because I ordered them to attack some knights, so we'll redeploy one of the Hyrule Titans over to the side, and we'll call that done. Looks like the archers are beginning to make their way into the settlement, so we'll get them to start shooting down some of the Grail Knights. We'll drop the damage resistance on the Opal Amulet there just to try and avoid any unfortunate happenings. And then it looks like our allied lords are beginning to get their forces into the city now. Interestingly enough, it looks like Cetro is here. And he rode all the way round for some reason. Interesting choice, Cetro, but you know, you are imperishable, so we will trust you. It looks like we're going to overwhelm this fight in the middle here, and we're going to get the Halberds and the Sepulchral Stalkers right now, along with our other lord, into these Knights of the Realm. Little bit of stutter there, I think, because we've got so many troops on the map right now. Oh, just love the Hyrule Titans, man. They look so cool. But before I get too taken up with the Hyrule Titans, we have Grail Knights to deal with. And the Grail Knights are really why the Halberds over here are where they are. While the Sepulchral Stalkers, I think, would do a good job, the Grail Knights need dealing with quickly. Get them Spirit Leech, they ran into Halberds and Sepulchral Stalkers, so I don't think they'll last very long at all. Wow, we are experiencing just a little bit of stuttering. I'm sorry about that, team. But I think that's just because I have a... We have 3 full-size Tomb King armies and a garrison army of about the same size, so... You know, unfortunately, when you put this much stuff in the game, especially when you're streaming, or recording and running extra stuff in the background, is going to start struggling just a little bit. I mean, we might actually just win this all without our allies. But that's kind of a misnomer, because, like, yes, we're doing it without our allies being present on this side of the city, but because our allies were here, you can see that, you know, the forces weren't all on the walls against us originally. They did move, because we were by far the fastest into the city, but they weren't originally lined up to deal with us in quite the same way. Over here we can see that the pole arms are about to engage, so we'll get the Sepulchral Stalkers just a little bit away from that so that they can start shooting again. Keep the Halberds in there, though. And I'll move up the Necropolis Knights now to strike at the artillery section in the back. The enemy unit's tower has been destroyed. Very nice. Looks like we've taken this command point as well, which will be very useful for us. Because once you start taking command points like this, and their towers start going down, obviously, not only is there less stuff shooting at you, but, and this is the other big advantage, this momentum bar is going to stack up, which is giving me leadership, melee attack, and I can't tell you how glad I am to have extra leadership on Tomb Kings, honestly. Like, one of the biggest detriments in this campaign I've run into is the concept that, you know, because of leadership, if I lose focus for even a second, I'm losing masses of my units, you know, full unit crumbles. Where are our archers? Ah, they're over here somewhere. Okay. Well, whatever. We didn't need them. Looks like right now we've claimed almost another point, or another point. And we are maintaining vigor, which is superb. It's keeping our units in the fight nice and invigorated. There you go, for want of a better word. We'll quickly drop a Spirit Leech there. I do not expect that this fight will... Okay, I couldn't even get the sentence out. I did not expect that this fight would last very long at all. And indeed it did not. So, the Wizard Caliph's Palace is ours. Alright, we did take some substantial damage there, but I will say that we are now in control of the Wizard Caliph's Palace. We can start building up walls and getting some extra stuff sorted in here to help us out a little bit. I think I'll probably delete this, but not for now, because I like the idea of having the extra Tomb Guard. Now, we did put Futep firmly into the middle of the fighting to get him as much experience as possible, so he is going to buff up his Tomb Guard units. And then he is going to rest. The Necrotect is going to get missile resistance. I would go for the Inscription of Repair, but we don't need it right now. We'll get that next battle. This fight over here, I'm really scared of. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. And then over here, we have a badly wounded army belonging to Tic-Tac-Toe. But whether or not we have the strength to take it out with this army, I don't know. Let's find out. He doesn't seem to think he can win it. It says Pyrrhic. Okay, the terrain on this map feels pretty lizard-favoured, so I've spread out in the middle here of the trees. We've got some forces hidden in the trees to try and take advantage should anyone fold onto us. But the main objective here will be to shoot out Tic-Tac-Toe as fast as possible. We're going to do our best here as well to take out with the skeleton chariots as much of this cavalry here that we can. So we're going to drop a quick little Legions of Asaph to weaken them. I hold no illusions that that's going to do a lot of damage on its own immediately, but over time, the damage that contributed will lead to more and more falling riders. Start whittling down the HP pool. We can see right now that they're standing and taking it. Look at these beautiful models. Amazing looking unit. The ammo right now is being wasted by the units in the trees, but they won't stay there forever. Eventually they will deem that they've taken too much damage from range and come after us. I'm going to quickly just move our Casket of Souls up a little bit. Okay, are they redeploying or moving? Because if they're moving, I have to get out. Okay, they're moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shooting at Tic-Tac-Toe the second he leaves the cover of the woods. And actually, this is a nice big clump here that they've made, so we're going to drop a Legions of Asaph, which is, of course, going to miss, because I timed it horribly and positioned it badly. Typical. We do, if possible, want to split the enemy up here. Once Tic-Tac-Toe gets in range of our archer line, we're going to do that. We're going to shoot him. Going to move up a little bit here. The aim here will be to extricate the chariots and get the carrion out very quickly. Meanwhile, on this front, I'm going to try and use the Necropolis Knights to break stuff. Look at that. Tic-Tac-Toe took so much damage on the way in. That's good. Alright. So now, instead of focusing all the archers, he took a lot of damage, so we're going to focus most of the archers on him. We're going to get the Kemrian War Sphinx in as well. Because I need the archers, obviously, to shoot into stuff at the front to try and soften it up. We can't just avoid having stuff in there, you know? Let's get the Tomb Scorpions out into the middle. I'm going to use the Legion of Asaph here to try and do some damage to the skirmishers. Because the biggest advantage that we have is range. Right? Like, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Like, we've got so many units of archers that if we're not using them to best advantage, then we're not going to win. We've managed to spread out the forces quite a lot here to get on top of the skirmishers. We've got our chariot units, which I'm going to deploy over here, try and get those out with the carrion. Tomb Scorpion here. We are going to lose units. Like, I'm not holding any illusions of a perfect battle where we don't lose anything, you know? Okay, we've got some Ushabti now, so I'm going to bring in the Ushabti to help the Kemrian War Sphinx. The Necropolis Knights are doing a really good job here of just sort of running stuff over in the middle. So we're going to let them keep doing that. I'm going to get our archers to shoot at Tic-Tac-Toe the second he comes back into range. And the aim here really is to shut down these Bastillodons as fast as possible, because they're nasty. They hurt really, really badly. Okay, let's get the Kemrian War Sphinx here to keep chasing. Sorry, that's the Necrosphinx, isn't it? The Kemrian War Sphinx is at the back. This fight here is a problem. Okay, so Tic-Tac-Toe went down. That's going to be some good leadership differences. I'm going to pull my leader back because I feel like he is at risk. Let's get the Necrosphinx in. Heal for the cavalry, the archers with some cav. I don't mind losing stuff here because this is, you know, the army of Tic-Tac-Toe. We are slowly losing this flank with the Spearmen and the Necropolis Knights. Which is unfortunate, but I think the best thing I can do right now is send the Tomb Scorpion over. And get my lord involved, because, like, ultimately the solar engines are the biggest threat on the battlefield, I think. Taking them out will easily result in a victory. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at now. We are losing stuff, but nothing survives this battle for them because they ran away on the map, right? So, like, even if this isn't very clean and we have to go back and retrain some units, so what? And that's it. A lot of units are shattering now. Oh, well, we had to really dig deep for that one, but that is a win. It said Pyrrhic. We wouldn't have lost anything if we auto-resolved, but I wanted to play. Alright, it said that we wouldn't lose anything if we auto-resolved it, and we lost some stuff, but that's okay, it's all easily replaceable. Didn't lose anything important. So, we'll just re-recruit that. But that was the loss of their biggest army. And that's going to give this lord in particular some new stuff. We are a bit stuck for this turn in terms of re-recruitment, so we're just going to march him into the city. King Pashedu will begin moving down next turn. We do have some stuff that we can recruit in this area now, so that's good. And that's the Wizard Caliph's Palace. That's Tic-Tac-Toe's main army defeated. Been a fairly productive episode so far. We're going to garrison Hakor. They're going to finish recruiting next turn. Did we already move Lammy? Yes, Lammy took Death Gorge between episodes and is going to take the fight to Skarbrand. Why did I give him archers? He doesn't have any. I doubt he'll be able to beat Skarbrand. Oh wait, he has his Shabti archers, okay. It's not a complete loss then. He's going to take the fight to Skarbrand and see what he can do there, while the rest of our forces begin to deal with Tic-Tac-Toe. Now, Tic-Tac-Toe did ask for peace, but I think I've proven why I didn't accept that. And it looks like Talaqua is left relatively undefended, so perhaps we'll strike at that next time. King Petit is going to get Petra the Great Father, and we are going to recruit some Tomb Guard into his armies, I think. So we'll see about that. Over here, Agatha Michard is probably going to go in, and we are rejoining this army. We will go for extra growth in the Kingdom of Beasts. Whilst traversing the jungles on the edge of the world with a view to bringing them within our sphere of influence, our forces have encountered a village of tribal lizardmen. Naturally, they cower and beg for their meager lives. Should we sacrifice them to empower our future? I am going to go with lizard sacrifice. There we go. We're going to get extra character experience. And at the start of this new turn, we are going to move Futep over towards Khalida. Next time, we're going to be taking on Nicolandor, the Blade of Skalaril. We're going to be pushing back against the Lizardmen. And we will see if our expeditions and forays to the north meet with any great success. Because I think, now that I've done some extra thinking, Lammy is not fit to take on Skarbrand. He's too low a level. So we will be marching Futep over in that general direction once Nicolandor, the Blade of Skalaril, has been killed. That's everything for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.